everyone. So today we're going to kind of summarize some of these words, decomposing, rearranging, and how we can use them to find area. So when we compose something, it means we put them together. So I might take a rectangle plus maybe a tall, skinny rectangle. When I put them together, I would be getting this shape. So maybe I'm putting two things together. Decompose is the exact opposite. I can take something apart and I can use that information to help me understand rearrange, because sometimes when you take something apart, if you move it around, it helps you see something a little bit better. So when we rearrange something, we're actually going to decompose a figure into pieces and put them back together in a different way. Which brings me to this little square down here. We want to see if we can decompose the square into two triangles. I can do that by splitting it down the center here. And if you can see this, on this side right here, I'm going to have triangle 1. And on the other side, I'm going to have lovely triangle 2. Okay, and we can use this information to understand that the square and the two triangles have the same area. So if I was to draw the exact same square over here, that square would have the same area as putting together those two triangles because they take up the same amount of space. We talked about that area definition yesterday. It's measuring the space inside of something. So now here's something to consider. What if I told you that this entire thing had 10 square units for its area? How much then would each one of these triangles get? Well, if this split it evenly in half, that means this has to be 5 and this has to be 5. So 5 square units. Okay, let's now take a look at example 2. They want us to take this triangle and decompose it into two smaller triangles. I'm going to do that by cutting it straight down the middle here. I'm going to get triangle 1 on this side, and then triangle 2 on the other side. So what this tells us is that the large triangle and the two triangles, the two small triangles, would have the same area. So putting the orange and the red triangle has the same area as the one large triangle. So now I'm going to tell you though, let's pretend, I'm just going to redraw this here, that my large triangle this time, those are my little ones cut in half there, has an area of 20 square units. That's the whole thing. How much would each small triangle have? So what plus what is going to give me that 20? Well, the answer is going to be 10. Each one of my small triangles is 10 square units. And we can do this one more time, but now they're saying if I have my large triangle, this time they're going to tell me that the area is only 1. So what plus what? What can I put together that's going to give me one whole? The answer is a half. It's 1/2 square units. All right, so we're going to keep scrolling down. And so now we're going to say the area of this square here is 1 square unit. 2 small triangles can be put together to make this square. Let's take a look at this triangle. If I had turned it, kind of like dashed through here, and you could see those 2 small triangles. Well, if this whole thing is 1, each one of these halves is a half. Let me get rid of those dots. And we know that my small triangle is a half. I need to create a figure that has an overall area of 2.5. So I'm going to take one of the square. I'm going to put another square together. This is 1 square unit. This is 1 square unit. And 1 plus 1 gives me 2. So I'm at 2 square units. I'm not quite there yet. I need a half. So on the top of this guy, oh, that is a very bad drawing. On the top, I'm going to put my triangle. And there's my half. So if I look at this shape all together, it's like a little house or a rocket. The whole thing has an area of 2.5 square units. All right, let's take a look at our last one. The area of this rectangular pool has an area of 24 square meters. Notice it doesn't say units this time. Let's talk about meters. If the length of the pool is 8, what must the width be? Now remember, we know this is a rectangle. It told me right here, rectangular. And for a rectangle, we know we have length times width is the area. Well, if my area is 24, and I know my length is 8, I need to think of a number for my width that when multiplied by 8 to give me 24. So think to yourself, what number times 8 is 24? Get your answer of 3 meters. All right, everybody, that's all for today. I will see you tomorrow.